All right. So, John Madden football. Oh man. Just gonna drop this volume a little bit in my ear. All right. So, why am I playing John Madden football? Well, um, I've been playing John Madden games pretty much all day. Move that out of the way. And this was the first that I played. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to do some playoffs here. And we're only going to do 5-minute quarters so that we don't do this all night long. And we're just going to go ahead and have some fun with it. We'll do turf, why not? And we'll just leave the weather fair. So it looks like the Giants and the 49ers, or San Francisco versus New York, because EA didn't have the license just yet. So to show you here, it looks like San Francisco has pretty much all of the advantage here. The best quarterback to ever play the game. This is back in the Montana era. And then we get this generic, it's hard to generalize about the best players in the world. Anyone who claims he can is bluffing. In this game, everything is relative. New York plays a tough ball control running game. They're the team to beat in the West Conference. Yeah, that's right, because they couldn't say NFC. That's right. San Francisco is the best quarterback who ever played the game. They use short, accurate passes to control the game. Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll just get started. That lovely snot green gridiron. And as luck would have it, it looks like I am kicking off. And the Giants will down it inside the end zone. It's 1st and 10 for the Giants. Or I can't even call them the Giants, for New York here. So yeah, John Madden football was the first 16-bit football game that I owned. I bought this not too long after I got my Super Nintendo in 1991. Oh my word. There we go. And it was okay. I do admit that when I first started to play this game in 1991, that my football fandom was still pretty new. I'm going to go ahead and just drop my camera a little bit. There we go. So my fandom was a little bit new, so I didn't understand a lot of the intricacies of football just yet. Personnel groupings and formations and stuff. I knew the basics, like, catch the football or run the football, and that was pretty much it. So this was really my big introduction to the more technical side of football, even though this was really, and still is, a video game. 2nd and 10 from the 40. Get him. Nope. And here we start to see, for the first time, we start to see how frame rate can come into play in the passing game. And it's tougher even on a CRT TV. And this video may not show exactly what I'm talking about, but it is very difficult to adjust, especially when you're on defense, when you think you have a player, because the frame rate's so stuttery. The player has a tendency, the offensive player has a tendency to get away, which is really frustrating. You think you have someone lined up dead to rights, and then, to quote Chris Berman, whoop, he's gone, and you don't know why. Oh, that's a touchdown. Nope, not quite.
First down.
So first down on the 9. Again, I'm still not the greatest at this game. Whoops, I didn't want to do that. I'm not the greatest at the 16-bit Madden games. During the 16-bit era, a lot of my football, while I did play the Madden games, a lot of my football was Tecmo Super Bowl, honestly. Oh, hey, I picked it off. Nice. I don't know how I did it, but I guess I was in the right place. But yeah, Madden was really my secondary thing. It was Tecmo Super Bowl starting in 1993 and beyond, because it was more arcade style, and that's what I was used to. The standard football simulation kind of games like these, I wasn't very good at. Let's see if we can get out of the hole here on second down. Oh, what a cut. 3rd and 3, that's a pretty good recovery. Time does fly in this game. We're already less than a minute to go in the first quarter. We've had a turnover, but no points yet. There's a first down. Look at me go. Scores from other playoff games. I'm going to get to this in just a little bit. Seattle 10, Houston 7 in the first quarter. So this being a Madden game on a 16-bit console, there are money plays for teams, or there are teams that have specific strengths. I've found for the 49ers, the running game, even though they talk about how the passing game is strong, the running game works just fine, as you can see here. Yeah, that's a big gain. Yeah, that's the end of the first quarter already. Cincinnati up over the Dolphins. I'm sorry, over Miami 7-3. I mean, I've had enough success where just calling 2 plays doesn't matter the personnel grouping. Calling just halfback toss left and then halfback off tackle right, and I'm able to get pretty consistent gains. I mean, here we go again with another big one, and that's going to be close to a touchdown.
First down.
First and goal at the 4. And I mean, you can just abuse the CPU with these 2 plays when you're the 49. I'm sorry, when you're San Francisco, of course. Got to remember not to use the team names. And there it is. Just walks in untouched for the touchdown. There's the quick dance and the spike, the precursor to the Gronk spike. And then we get to the kicking game. The kicking game is pretty straightforward. It's a meter system. 1 press to start it, 1 press to stop the power meter. It's good. And there we go. There are our first points of the game. San Francisco 7, New York absolutely nothing, as we're in the second quarter play. Those of you watching either on Twitch or on YouTube after the fact, thank you very much for checking out this stream. I know it's been a little bit since I've done a Super Nintendo stream. And get checking out other playoff games. The Buffalo over Oakland 10-0. Oh, there's a play in the backfield for a loss. 2nd and 16. Pittsburgh 7, Kansas City 0. I do tend, when I'm on defense, to do a lot of blitzing. I like to get after the quarterback, and that gets me into trouble a lot of the time. especially if I over pursue or if I make the wrong play. Another tackle for a loss. 28-21 Chicago. And it's 3rd down and 18. Now we're going to go ahead and going to put our dime package in, which puts 6 defensive backs out there to deal with any passes that may come their way. Quarterback steps up. Pass is incomplete. New Orleans 24, Dallas 10. That always seems weird to me. I'm going to talk about some of the intricacies of the game here shortly. Punting from their own end zone. Punt received outside of the 50 and returned to the midfield stripe. So as you take a look here at some of the personnel groupings, you have hands, fast, big, special teams. Oh, no. I never knew what any of that meant. Of course, I do now. Big, for example, is good to use in goal line situations when you just want to bull your way forward. Hands team if it's bad weather or if you're worried about fumbles. Fast if you want your speed group on the field. That's the one that makes the most sense. Again, we're just abusing the same 2 plays here. And then normal is just your typical setup. Nothing unusual. Oh, an off-tackle play that doesn't get much. And now we have the 2-minute warning already. Oh, okay. So now the computer is actually figuring out the defense a little bit. Go ahead and try a pass play for the first time. Oh, what a play.
First down.
Inside the 10-yard line for first down. Minute 16 to go in the first half. San Francisco back in scoring position, runs it to the left and a touchdown. And this to go up by 14. And it's good. So San Francisco up 2 touchdowns with 66 seconds left to go in the first half. And here comes the kickoff. Taken at the 4-yard line out to the 10, the 20, down at the 22-yard line with 56 seconds left to go in the first half. Yes, it is true. This is, at one point or another, what I wanted to do for a living was I wanted to do broadcasting. I would have loved to have done play-by-play for football games. Never got that opportunity. And I probably wouldn't be that great at it, but heck, you know, I mean, if Tony Romo can do it, why not, right? Why not try? 2nd and 15. New York calls timeout. 2 left to go. 50 seconds left in the first half. Ball now spotted at the New York 17-yard line. San Francisco's defense comes out in the dime. Nothing doing here on the give. 3rd and 19 now. New York down to 1 timeout left. San Francisco remains in the dime. Trips to the right. Drops back to pass. Steps away from pressure. Completes the pass. But it's only good for 8 yards. San Francisco calls a timeout with 28 seconds left to go, trying to get the ball back before the end of the half, see if they can do anything and put up a score late. This should be a pretty obvious punt formation for New York. San Francisco comes out of the huddle. New York sends their punter back. The kick is away. Gets by the returner. Goes all the way to the 2-yard line. Breaks a few tackles and gets out to the 28-yard line, and that's where they'll start with 11 seconds left to go in the half. San Francisco sends their speed group out. Oh, long pass doesn't work. It's 2nd down and 10. Just 2 seconds left to go in the half. Look along the right sideline. Back to throw. And picked off. Not that it matters, and that's the end of the first half. With the score 14-0. So getting out of broadcaster mode for a minute and just talking about the game itself as we look at the statistics screen here. And this is very early in terms of statistics for Madden. As you can see, we're just talking about general team statistics. There's nothing individual, so you can't look to see how players have done. And there's not a lot of statistics here either. We don't know anything about 3rd down percentage. We don't know anything about 4th down percentage, if there was any. You're just getting the basics: first downs, rushing yards, passing yards, sacks, and passing completion percentage. And that's all you get. You also get time of possession, which is kind of nice, where New York leads San Francisco 5 minutes, 15 seconds to 4 minutes, 47 seconds. You also get some information from Madden here. Play action's popular and getting bigger all the time. Your own goal line to the 5 is the get out of trouble area. That's true. This right here is one of the coolest parts of this early Madden, is you get scores from other playoff games. And we'll let the system scroll through those. I'm not pressing any buttons. But now you get some highlights, and this I always thought was really cool. So Philadelphia 35, Chicago 28 late in the 4th quarter. Looks like Chicago is probably going to have one more possession to try and tie it. It's 4th down and 11. Chicago puts their speed group in. This is the ball game with 2 seconds left to go. From the shotgun. Quarterback has it. Sprints out to the left. Throws to the left. And overthrows his receiver. The game is over. Philadelphia hangs on 35-28. We only get one highlight this time. Now back to our game, where San Francisco leads 14-0. Giants will be kicking off to San Francisco here from top to bottom. Kick taken at the 8-yard line, up to the 20, and we stopped at about the 21-yard line. spotted at the 20, and that's where San Francisco will start their first drive of the second half. Interesting to point out, getting out of broadcaster mode for just a minute, that there isn't any motion. Right now, players are pretty much situated where they're situated. You can't run any motion to fake defenses out or to add some extra protection for sweep plays, for example. Got another first down on the deal. Now we're going back to the off tackle. Because I'm not passing the ball so well and I just threw an interception at the end of the half, I'm sticking pretty conservative and I'm sticking to what works. First down measurement, and we're short by about a chain link and a half. So second down and 1. Sprints out to the left. Gets out to the 20, to the 10. Taken down at the 5-yard line. Spot him back at the 6, actually. So first and goal from the 6. Lined up in the pro set. Fullback and halfback behind the quarterback here. The give is to the halfback, sweeps right, makes a move, touchdown. Yet another rushing touchdown for San Francisco, and they lead now 20-0 pending the extra point. Here's the point after attempt. The kick is up and perfect. So the score now is 21-0. San Francisco lines up for the kick. Kick is going out to the right. Taken in the end zone and down in the end zone, so it'll be a touchback. First and 10 for New York on their 20. 2:46 left to go in the third quarter. Down by 3 scores. San Francisco anticipating the pass, sends out their dime package. 6 defensive backs, along with a linebacker back there. Pass falls incomplete. It is second down. New York trying to put some kind of offense together against the San Francisco defense has been fairly unsuccessful to this point. San Francisco comes with the same look. Linebacker charges up the middle. Quarterback in trouble. Pass is tipped at the line, falls incomplete, and now it is third down and 10. Play clock running down inside of 20 seconds now. Third and 10. Linebacker cheats up toward the line again. Draw play gets about 5. It'll be fourth down and 5 for New York here. New York shows that they're going for it. San Francisco calls a timeout, reshuffles their defense, sends their dime package back out onto the field. 4th and 5, a little bit of desperation here for New York. Pocket collapses. Pass falls incomplete. Turnover, first down for San Francisco. San Francisco content to continue to just run the football until New York shows that they can stop the run. And that's a decent stop right there. That's a loss of 5 yards on the play. Second down and 15. Ball on the on the New York 30. New York shows the dime. Oh, no, that is a fumble and a defensive recovery. And it's 1st and 10 for the Giants on their own 14-yard line. Pretty big play in the game. Down 21, but still time. New York needs some kind of scoring play here in order to stay in the game. Tries to run it, gets nowhere, losing about 4 yards. It's second down and 14. Ball spotted on the 11-yard line. 1 minute, 10 seconds left and running here in the third quarter. San Francisco firmly in control, continuing to stick with the dime package, not allowing any kind of passing game to take place. Really forcing New York to run the football to make any kind of movement. Pocket collapses again. Throws it out to the right. Gets back almost to the original line of scrimmage. It's 3rd and 13. Houston and Seattle locked up at 17 in the third quarter. Third and 13 from the Giants' 12. Time continuing to tick away. 12 seconds, 11 seconds, 10 seconds left to go in the quarter. Need to try and get a play off before the gun sounds. They do get it away. Had pressure in the end zone. And that's the end of the third quarter. Again, on 4th down, the New York will go for it on 4th down here. 4th and 13. Now just 5 minutes left to go in the game. San Francisco able to get pressure on the quarterback, but not able to bring the quarterback down. Here comes the pocket collapsing again. And that pass sails incomplete. And now San Francisco will have it 1st and 10 on the Giants' 12-yard line. And that should pretty much do it. Gets past the defender, runs it right, touchdown. The 4th rushing touchdown for San Francisco in the game. Pending the extra point, it'll be a 28-0 whitewashing here. And it's through the uprights, right down the middle, 28-0. San Francisco will kick off yet again. And chances of any kind of comeback here or any kind of competitive game are going by the boards pretty quickly. It's a short kickoff taken, missed by the kick returner and will roll back for a touchback. Again, San Francisco continuing to stick with that dime defense, 6 defensive backs with 1 linebacker who can decide to either drop back into coverage or to take on the quarterback or a runner. 4-man front. And it's picked off. Back to the 40, back to the 30, the 20, to the 10, the 5, touchdown. Takes it to the house. And that just extends the lead.
Set. Hut.
Kick is good. 35-0. No mercy rule in football, so we will play this one to the very end. Kickoff taken inside the goal line, down for a touchback. 4:14 left to go in the game. This one is, for all intents and purposes, over. See what New York does here on 1st and 10 on their 20.
Set. Hut. Hut.
Oh, what a pass play.
First down.
Buffalo 16, Oakland 3 in the third quarter. New York taking its time, and why wouldn't it? Up the middle. Quarterback gets away. Pittsburgh 13, Kansas City nothing in the third quarter. See if we get any highlights here at the end of the football game.
Set. Hut. Hut.
Oh, how did that pass even get completed?
First down.
That makes no sense. Again, doesn't matter. This game is over. I don't know of any team that can score 35 points in less than 3 minutes. I suppose it's possible, but not in this game.
Set. Hut. Hut.
Here's another pick. I think that's a third of the game.
Set. Hut.
Gets a block. Gets outside to the left. First down measurement. Yes, by the nose of the
First
football.
down.
Time's ticking. 2-minute warning on tap.
Set. Hut.
And that's a 2-minute warning right there. 1:55 left to go in what's been a very one-sided affair.
Set. Hut.
Gets around defenders. Out to the 40-yard
First
line.
down.
New York now forced to call timeout. Wow. They spotted it back at the 42, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but doesn't matter. 1:46 left to go in this contest.
Set. Hut.
Could not run it outside that time. Giants take another time. The New York calls another timeout.
Set. Hut.
Gets the first down and then some. 20, 10, out to the 4-yard line maybe?
First down.
New York calls a timeout for whatever reason. This is about to be a 42-0 contest.
Set.
It's not even a contest, really. Splits out to the right, touchdown. San Francisco will attempt the extra point to go up by 6 touchdowns here.
Set. Touch.
It's good. 42 to absolutely nothing. 81 seconds left to go in this ball game. Kick taken inside the end zone and downed. All right.
Set. Touch. Set. Touch. Touch.
Oh. Oh, the shutout is in jeopardy. That's a big play right there. Doesn't look like there's going to be a shutout today. The New York's going to have to hurry.
Touch.
21 seconds left to go. New York's got to get 17 yards in order to get touchdown. It's the last play of the ball game. Quarterback drops back, steps up in the pocket, throws to the sideline. It is incomplete. The game is over. And San Francisco wins the ball game 42 to nothing. Outrushing San Francisco outrushing their opponent 245 to -7. And the 164 passing yards are really moot. Scores from other playoff games: Green Bay nipped Washington 38-27. New Orleans over to Dallas 24-10. Philly over Chicago 35-28. Pittsburgh blanking Kansas City 20-0. Buffalo over Oakland 23-3, and Cincinnati all over Miami 41-24. We do have a live highlight late in the fourth quarter. Houston holding on to a 4-point lead over Seattle. Let's get out to the action. Ball is on the 3-yard line. It is 4th down. Field goal will not do it. Seattle will need to score a touchdown here in order to pull off the win. Seattle breaks the huddle.
Set. Touch.
9 seconds left. Gives to the running back. Running back bounces it outside. Not able to get into the end zone. Time will run out. The game is over. And Houston will hold on for a 4-point win. And that is a look at John Madden football for the Super Nintendo. Now that the game is over, I'll go ahead and I'll take my my broadcaster headphones off, and I will just talk about the game itself, because there is a lot to talk about. Again, this being the first football game that I had played, this was the first football game for the Super Nintendo in 1991, released in November, so just a few months after the system had come out. There are some things that are obviously missing. The first thing that's missing is licensing. No NFL licensing, no NFLPA licensing. So you kind of know who people are because of the city names and because of the team colors. For example, if we take a look here, you know that that's Green Bay right there. You know that that's New Orleans based on the team colors. That's definitely the Eagles right there, and that's the 49ers. And then if we scroll over to the AFC side of the house, that's Houston. That's the Oilers back when they were the Oilers. Uh, Cincinnati looks a little weird. That should be more orange. The Bills, you can tell with the stripe, and then Pittsburgh. So you knew who the teams were, you knew who the players were, but you weren't able to say specifically that that was them. It was based on who they were back at the time. So those things were missing. This being the first attempt at football for the Super Nintendo, there are other things missing that I talked about before. The statistics screen is very rudimentary, not tracking a lot of things, certainly not tracking anything individual. There's no season play either. This is just playoff play. So if you wanted to play a season, you had to wait until, if you can believe it, you had to wait until Madden 94 to do that. So you had to wait 3 years if you were a Madden fan before you got season play, and you had to wait 4 years before you could leave passwords at the door, and you could play Madden season with a battery backup for the Super Nintendo, which was kind of annoying, to be honest. This game does struggle with frame rate. I mentioned that a little bit when I was kind of going back and forth between broadcasting and talking about the game. Does make playing defense especially a little bit frustrating because the animations are so stuttery. Thinking that you have an offensive player lined up in your sights and then missing the tackle somehow just doesn't make a lot of sense. Or when you're playing defense with a defensive back and somehow a pass gets through you and gets caught by the opposing team, something that's really difficult to understand. Something that I struggled with initially when I first played this game back in 91 is the momentum when you're taking a running back outside of the tackles and trying to run down the sideline. Sometimes your momentum actually will carry you out of bounds, so there's a little bit of a learning curve to trying to steer the runner upfield before the momentum carries him too far to the right or too far to the left. The AI is not the smartest, as you saw during this game. There are some money plays that are very easy to take advantage of, and it really puts some distance between yourself and the AI opponent. Playing against a human player will more than likely get you better results, however. So if you have this game and you're playing with a friend, a buddy, your experience will probably be considerably different. One other thing to note that I'd like to talk about before I go ahead and I close this particular stream down, as we're about 45 minutes in now, is if we look at the background of the screen, you can actually see, and I'll see if I can move my mouse so you can see it here. See this EASN logo back here? That stood for the Electronic Arts Sports Network. And it looks pretty familiar, doesn't it? In fact, it looks very close to ESPN. And ESPN actually took offense to that and sent cease and desist to EA, and they had to get rid of that. So rising up out of the EA Sports Network came EA Sports less than a year later, and that's what it's been ever since. I did like the EASN logo. I liked what EA tried to do in putting together their own kind of sports network back when Ron Barr was working for the company. You really hear Ron Barr if you have NHL 94 for the Sega CD. And I'll try and talk about that at a later time, just in general, as we move through these sports games. But EASN was a really cool first step. And as someone who was a sports fan, but more of a casual sports fan, seeing any kind of similarity to ESPN, I thought was a pretty cool thing. There are two concepts that Madden introduces that stuck with the games for many years after. First being the play calling windows. As you saw when I was playing, there is a series of 3 windows, each with its own play. You do have to go through a progression in order to get there first. First, you pick the personnel, whether it's normal, hands, fast, big. So you have to figure out what kind of players you want on the field. Then you have to pick your formation. Do you want to go shotgun if you want to throw passes? Do you want a far or near formation? Do you want to line up in the eye with both the fullback and the running back behind you? There are plenty of possibilities. And then once you pick your formation, then you can finally pick a play, and you can sort through the many different plays based on the formation that you've selected. And that has stuck with Madden. It's still there today, even playing Madden 17, Madden 18, I'm sure has the same kind of thing. While they've streamlined that in some instances, you can certainly bring back the play calling windows if that's what you appreciate or if that's what you're used to. I will tell you that when I play Madden on my PS4, I do use the play calling windows just because of that familiarity. The other thing that was in the games for a little while and then slowly went away was the use of passing windows, where you can see the 3 receivers that you can throw to based on your Y, B, and A buttons on your controller. And you can actually get a visual sense of whether they're covered, whether they're not covered, and how far down their route they are. If you use these tools effectively, you're going to make better throws. If you're going to throw and you see 2 defenders on this one receiver, chances are that it's either going to be incomplete or that it's going to be picked off. But if you see a receiver that has nobody around him, that's the time to go ahead and lob that ball in there or launch that ball in there for a big gain. So those are really the 2 concepts that came away from this game that stayed with Madden for a long time. The play calling windows for more than 25 years now, and the passing windows for quite some time. Although starting with Madden 96, when Tiburon first came on board, the passing windows started to get replaced by just button prompts, because you could see further down the field and you had a better idea of when to throw the football. So that's my look at John Madden Football. I was playing this during the earlier part of today for a certain Super Nintendo guidebook. And once I get offline with you guys, I'm going to go ahead and start capturing some footage to go with the review. I played that, and I played Madden 93 today. I'm not going to play that tonight, but that was considerably better. Maybe I'll do that at another time and give you my thoughts on that game as well. So again, to those of you who tune in either via Twitch or on YouTube later on, I really do appreciate it. I know it's a little bit bright in here. I have trouble with lighting in this office, but whatever. Hope you had fun. I certainly had fun broadcasting my own football game. Joe Buck, I am not, but I could certainly work on it. Until the next time, my friends, take good care, and I'll see you soon.